couple of minors took a cruise with Royal Caribbean without their parents, and I didn't even know this was allowed.
JJ Cruise.
Hey everyone, what's up? My name is Jordan and this is JJ Cruise. Thank you so much for clicking into the video today. Well, yesterday a very interesting article dropped about a 19 and 20-year-old going on a Royal Caribbean cruise without their parents. They obviously encountered several bumps and issues along the way to this trip, and there's some very interesting information that's come out of this article, and I've actually learned a couple of things, and hopefully you will too. But before we get into this story, I do just want to invite you to subscribe to the channel. We are on the road to 100,000 subscribers. If you want to be a part of the first 100,000 JJ crew, please hit the subscribe button. And if you like this video today, on your way out, do us a favor and hit the thumbs up. For pretty much all cruises that leave out of North America, you have to be 21 years old to stay in a cruise cabin. If you're under the age of 21, you have to have someone else in the cabin at least of the age of 21. That is the rule, but today we found out that there are a couple exceptions to that rule. In the state of Idaho, a 19 and 20-year-old got married and decided that they wanted to take a cruise for their honeymoon. One of the more mind-blowing parts of this story is that this couple decided to take a road trip from Idaho all the way to the East Coast to get on this cruise, which put them in a car for more than 30 hours. Now, obviously, they had to stop somewhere along the way, so they stopped in Nebraska to stay at a hotel, which they had already previously planned. Upon getting to the hotel, they found out that neither one of them were 21, and so they actually denied them a hotel room. For almost all hotel rooms, you do have to be 21 years old to check in to that hotel. This couple apparently went to a total of 4 hotels trying to find a good night's sleep, and no hotel would let them stay there. Finally, after a 5th hotel that they stopped at let them stay the night, they got back up the next morning and headed along their way. They had that issue at the hotel. So, in my mind, I was thinking, what on earth is going to happen to them when they get to the cruise port? Because there was no one in their party, there was no one traveling with them that was above the age of 21. Once at the cruise port, the couple had to go through the check-in process there at the counter because they weren't able to check in online due to their ages. And at the cruise port, they found out that there is one exception to allowing minors on a cruise ship without anyone of the age 21 or older in the cabin. And that is if you are married. So they had to actually provide a copy of their wedding license to the cruise port staff, and they had to physically get checked in there at the pier. They couldn't do any of the check-in process prior to getting there because Royal Caribbean had to have in their hands a copy of that marriage certificate in order for them to get on the ship. I'm not sure what happened with the hotel issue and the misstep there, but the couple actually then took to TikTok, where their video blew up and went viral, and shared this story. They said that they actually knew they wouldn't be able to get on the ship before they got to the port, and they actually weren't even able to book the cruise. And now this makes sense to me because I am a travel agent. I'm not actually able to book anyone under the age of 21 in the cruise portals. It actually stops you as soon as you put the date of birth in and says there's no one of age in the cabin, you cannot proceed. So what had to happen was one of their parents had to book the cruise for them on their behalf directly with the cruise line by calling in. And the cruise line then told them that the couple would have to have their marriage license upon getting to the port in order to get on the ship. So the couple clearly did their research before they actually took this cruise. Again, I'm not sure what happened to the hotels, but this is an interesting lesson that you can be 21 or younger to get on a ship if you are married to another person. Now, this is true for all cruises that leave out of the US except for Virgin Voyages. Virgin Voyages is the one outlier here, and on Virgin, you actually only have to be 18. Now, that couple that went on the Royal Caribbean cruise, they couldn't drink, they couldn't book any shore excursions because they didn't have anyone of age to actually take them on the shore excursions, and without a parent consent, they couldn't even get on the ship in the first place. On Virgin, the age of entry is 18 for all of those things. And again, this is very interesting information that Virgin is doing this very differently. If you are age 18, you can book your cruise, you can drink, you can book shore excursions, and you can stay in a cabin by yourself without an adult. There is a lot of controversy over this online because there is, I think, a split opinion on this topic. Should 18-year-olds be able to travel and go on a cruise and drink alcohol by themselves? Well, if you're watching this and you live outside of the United States, your answer is probably yes, because most likely in your country, that's been the law of the land for centuries, or as long as cruising has been around. If you live within the United States, you might feel a little bit differently on this because the age of drinking is 21. You can't obviously check into a hotel or a cruise ship until you're 21. You can't rent a car in most states until you're much older than that, or you can pay a pretty hefty fee. But in general, unless you are an adult, and by the United States definition of adult, 21 years old or older, you can't do most of the things involved in the travel world without your parents. I'm thankful that this couple went through their research and knew what they had to have at the pier to get on the ship, but this could have really turned into a nightmare scenario. And as I was hearing this story and found out about the hotels first, I thought, oh my gosh, what is going to happen to this couple when they get to the cruise ship? But thankfully, their trip was fine. They just couldn't obviously do much once on board. What do you think of the Virgin Voyages policy? What do you think of 18-year-olds being able to travel, drink, and do things completely on their own? Is the age of 18 old enough? Would you let your 18-year-old go? Well, I guess they wouldn't need your permission, but would you feel good about your 18-year-old going on a cruise completely by themselves? Or do you think that the age should stay at the age of 21? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Congratulations to the newlyweds that just got married and took their cruise. Because you took a cruise for your honeymoon, you're starting off on the right foot. Well, thank you so much for watching. That was the story for today. Again, my name is Jordan. This is JJ Cruz. And until next time, see ya.